what is ETN network? What's our vision? What do we want to do? Why do we keep pushing at this? Why do we keep carving out time inviting speakers, also coming to you from time to time with programs? What are we trying to do? So if you would like to write down, I think it's going to be very useful to you. But first of all, it's good to understand that our vision as an organization, each Chair Network is an organization that has the vision of promoting collaborative and sustainable education. It's as simple as that. Our vision is to promote collaborative and sustainable education. As simple as this sounds, this has a lot of threads to it. So much threads to it. So much threads. We want to promote collaborative and sustainable education. If you look in Nigeria, use Nigeria because you use where you are and use it to judge other places. Nigeria is similar to so many other African countries and even beyond Africa. Our education system, the way it is, is privatized, as you know, largely to a large extent, privatized. And, in the private sector of business generally, what we already wired to see, the natural response for corporations and entities in the private sector is competition and not collaboration. Businesses are naturally wired to compete and not collaborate. And let's do the analysis. If you talk about the business, if we are to compete in a business, we're trying to increase revenue. That's why we're competing. We're only trying to see who does best in increasing revenue. That's the whole economic principle or the whole economic background, regardless of whatever is the fashionable word that they say. Nobody is competing who is going to make more impact. That's honestly many people. It's not the large terms of thinking. People are thinking of economic profit. ROI, return on investment, is the biggest thing that people think of when they get into business. And when you privatize a sector, what happens is that it becomes profit driven. If it becomes profit driven, then you can be profit driven and impact driven. That's just the truth. You can be profit driven and impact driven. Now, if you talk about livestock, if you are in the livestock sector and you are trying to make profit, totally understood. You're talking about livestock. If you are in but of course there's still ethics to it, right? So you don't give people poison because you want to make profit. But if you were in the commodity, other forms of commodity, and you want to make profit, totally understood. But again, you don't sell substandard product, which of course people do. But then those things are usually understandable when you are in these sectors that really do not have so much on the, at least a direct impact on life. But when you're in the education sector, what is your commodity, or what is your substance of trade? What is that thing that you trade upon? What is that thing that you see in every place, in all the sectors? You can say it's thin, you can call it thin, but when it's in the educational sector, it can be thin because you're talking about human beings. Educational sector is it's largely one of the foremost sector. I wouldn't say it's the only, but it's the foremost sector that deals with lives, deals with destinies, deals with people. And though to worsen the case, it deals, or to make it more interesting, let me not say to worsen it, to make it more interesting, it deals with lives from an infant stage. Think about it, life from an infant stage. So every one of us here, one way or the other, went through an educational process to be who we are today. So you can imagine that you are a compendium, or everything about you is a sum of everything that has been deposited in you from the point that you were a kid. Largely within that section or that area called an education sector, whether in the school, at home, largely around that environment. Now, remember what we said earlier. If you do this competing, what exactly are you going to be doing trying to compete when your tool of trade or your object of trade is human beings? Think about it. You see why it is competition is a word that shouldn't exist within the education sector. Shouldn't. Impact should be the word, right? Impact. Education is supposed to be one that influences people to become better of themselves, right? If that is the case, how can I be competing to make more profit in trying to make you better of yourself? Really doesn't make a lot of sense. So if at all you should compete, there should be a benchmark for what a healthy competition is all about. But then collaboration is one word that we need to find within the education space. And gone are the days we wait for the government to take on initiatives and to start doing this and doing that. Gone are those days. Today we rise up and we take up initiatives. It doesn't matter how how the landscape looks, but we take up those initiatives because we have to bring in some form of solution to the system. And that's what ETN network is here to do. And we say, what are we doing? What's the vision? Again, to promote collaborative and sustainable education. Of course, when you hear the word sustainable, you're thinking of something that can last for a long time without having adverse effect. Sustainable education, right? Without having adverse effect on the future and destinies of the people that we're leading. How do you do your education? Now, how many of you have heard this popular phrase about quotes about raising a child? So it takes a whole village to raise a child. I don't know. Am I getting it correctly? Someone can tell me what's the correct how that goes.
You are right.
Okay, it takes a whole
You're
village.
right. It takes a
So it
village to raise a child.
takes a village to raise a child. So you can imagine, if it takes a village to raise a child, how will one private institution come out and say, I know it all and I don't need your help? How will one educator in Anambra State or South Africa or wherever it is that you find yourself say, oh, I know it all and I can give this child all they need to become experts, to become good people in life, for their minds to be open? Come on, it doesn't work that way. You need to get a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of this, and then we form a village, a community to raise a child. So this community is that village where we start from. Our aim is to empower us. So now down to our mission, because now the vision is a higher hierarchical statement, but has a lot of meaning. But then there's a mission through which, an immediate mission through which we achieve this vision. And what are we doing? What are we trying to do? Through this community, through our initiatives, we're trying to connect, support, and spotlight educators and educational change makers. Connect, support, and spotlight educators and educational change makers. So our mission is connecting, supporting, and spotlighting educators and educational change makers. This is why we exist. This is what we're doing. This is exactly why we're here, right? So this community ETN tribe is just a teaser. Honestly, I will tell you the truth. This community is just a teaser, but it's supposed to be the backbone of the entire vision. But it's just a teaser. What you're currently seeing, the programs we've been having, educators retreat, teacher colloquium, etc. All these things are just teasers to what we have planned. What we truly want to do is to create an ecosystem where we can truly connect educators with educators. In fact, we even have a mobile app solution that will be launching next year, particularly for this. It's been on the plan from beginning. I'm not just telling you right now. If I bring out the plan for ETN, you would see, even if you go to the website, you will still see it there. There's a mobile app solution that will be released for this. What is it trying to do? To create an environment where we are able to really connect with one another, so that it is possible that, today we try to emulate some of those connect. For example, the community support that is headed by the chief community manager. Please, a round of applause for her, by the way. Both her and her team, they've been doing an amazing, amazing work. In fact, let me put my name. It's awesome. Awesome. That's amazing. You've been doing an amazing job. You and your team. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks. So yeah, that is just a tip of the iceberg of what we have in store. The idea of what we're trying to do is to create an environment where we can truly connect. So I can be in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria, and I need to get exposed to how a sustainable teaching method, maybe in my class, or even how I can support my students or support myself. And I'm able to connect with an educator all the way back in Tanzania, South Africa, UK, UAE, name them. And I'm able to connect seamlessly through a system. And I'm able to ask questions and I get responses. And these are people that go through the everyday process of the same thing that I go through. That's what we're trying to do. Connect. Support. What do we mean by support? Right? Support. So of course you do know that this is a lot of it's more of non-profit driven action. What we're doing. It's more non-profit, right? We're trying to see ways that we can give you this tools, resources, bring you closer to knowledge. How much you succeed in life is knowledge dependent, honestly. It's knowledge dependent and what you do with that knowledge and discipline. What you know, and what you do with what you know can truly change the whole landscape for you. So, what we're trying to do is to give you more information, then using this community, provide support. For example, the accountability partnership structure, the accountability partnership, structure. It's supposed to support. It's meant to support, right? Connecting, supporting, and then spotlighting. So we would have, like we're already doing, but we would have even in a more detailed fashion, a way to find out those educators that are doing so well in their catchment areas, those educators that are making impact, that are focused on impact and not just competition, those educators that are outstanding. And we look at you, we find you, we spotlight you, and when we spotlight you, we can even, give you a lot of awards and, a lot of prizes. These are things that are within the plan of what we want for you. And when we talk of support, we can also connect you to job opportunities, whether in the country, beyond the country, and all that stuff. There's a lot within this ecosystem. A lot is possible when there's a community that has a vision and everyone in that community is working towards that vision. That is what we have here. So, regardless of what it seems today, and I keep encouraging people. My biggest encouragement always to people and members of community is to penetrate when the community is still growing. Penetrate. Whenever you see a growing community, it provides an opportunity to penetrate. Because if you are waiting for a community of 1,000, 10,000 people, by the time we get to 10,000, I probably will not get to know your name personally, Favor. Neither might I get to know your name, Eric. It's the people that I know their names today that I'm going to remember their names. But when we're up to 10,000, you don't expect me to have 10,000 people in my head. Of course, there's going to be structured system to ensure that everyone still receives value. But then, to the degree that that value comes, will be different based on those that have penetrated and connected from the start. So I always find that to encourage people, encourage you. This is a community, right? Right now, no one is paying a dime. When we fully start, people will be asked to pay a dime, to pay something to be a part of this community. People will be asked to pay, for days in that, but it's going to probably be a small fee. But today, we're not asking anything. We just want you to come. We just want you to get as much as you can get, receive as much as value as you can get, Like, for example, in these 2 days, what are we set out to do? This is summer edition. What we want to do is to, number one, help you on the area of mental health. I asked us to put the theme for the year. Balogu, Eric, not Felicia. None of you remember the theme for the year. None of you remember the theme for the year. Favor, do you remember? Are you going to salvage them? You just came in. Are you going to salvage everyone? What was the theme? What's the theme for the year for ETN Network? What's our theme for the year? Do you remember? I can't remember. Eric said I can't remember. So yeah, today you're going to be getting very important knowledge about mental health. We're going to be sharing on mental health and self-care, and you're going to be hearing this from fellow educators, not from people that are probably on their high horse. Yeah, those people are also valuable. They've had their experiences, but it's different when we go through the same process every single day. It's not I went through it, but we go through it every single day. I am able to empathize with you more because I understand it by experience, and I'm still going through it. And then I have some tips that I'm able to use today to navigate, and that's exactly what you're going to be receiving in the area of mental health and self-care. Now, let me help us because of time. Our theme for the year was purpose and excellence in uncertain times. Purpose and excellence in uncertain times. That was our theme for the year, and still our theme for the year. And think about it. Just think about how the year has been, and tell me this theme has not been. If you have been conscious of this theme, honestly, this year would be on a certain streak for you. I let me share some personal testimonies for you. This year has been awesome. I won't lie. This year has been awesome. It's been challenging, but extremely awesome. Some of the best things in my life has happened this year, and they all stem from these two things: purpose and excellence. Remember when I started talking earlier, I said it's not. I don't see problems. I don't see problems. I don't see challenges. I see opportunities. I remember when dollar first shot up to what was it again? 800 and something. I was supposed to buy a couple of dollars for what we needed to do, and then I called my handler. I said, "What was the price?" He said 870. He said, "Buy now." No, I had to buy then, and then the next time I was about to call, and then I saw on the news it was around 900 or something. I said, "What?" And then everybody starts complaining. It's hot everywhere. Everybody's just sweating, looking for something to fan themselves. But because of the mindset that I've had all the time, at that particular point, what I started seeing was opportunities. Honestly, you see this whole thing that is happening right now, it's enriching people. But people that, until you open your eyes to see it that way, you would only see the problems that comes with it. There can be something, and which is something I'm going to be teaching you. I'm going to be teaching you a very important strategy that can help you, and that's tomorrow. So you shouldn't miss. You're already here today. You shouldn't miss tomorrow. But tomorrow, you dare not attend alone. If you attend alone, then you're selfish. Make sure that your accountability partners are here, because I'm going to be teaching you practically. It's not theory, practical. How you can extend value from here, Nigeria, to the ends of the world, and you can start earning even in foreign currencies as an educator while you're still purposefully focused on your work as an educator. Right? You're going to be getting mental health, self-care today, but then tomorrow, my assignment for you tomorrow, in fact, it's going to be a series. Tomorrow is just going to be part 1. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you, for free, and you're not paying me for anything. I'm going to help you for free. Learn how you can start up a side business. I really don't like calling it a side hustle, because call me whatever you want to call me, but I really don't like anything that adds stress to my life. Hustle already sounds like stress. I'm not hustling, I'm building. Honestly, I'm not hustling, I'm not a hustler, I'm building. Right? All I'm doing is building. So I'm going to show you how that you can also build business on the side. See what I called it? Not a side hustle. If you treat it like a side hustle, you'll be doing the same thing that people of side hustle do. You will be uploading. You'll be uploading. What do you call it? There was something I used in one of the adverts I made in 2021, selling singlet and boxers in the classroom, carrying singlet and boxers all around the classroom. I'm looking for how to sell, but we posting it just on the WhatsApp status. Those are just treating them as side business or side hustle. No. But when you want to look at it, Adeni K, welcome. So if you want to treat that as side hustle, it's going to respond to you as a side hustle. And as a side hustle, it's going to give you all its jobs and all its issues. But then what I'm going to show you is how you can actually start up a business. How you can actually start up a business and run that successfully just with your smartphone, and you'll be surprised how that in a very short while you'll be able to do so much for yourself, and live a life that you really want to live. But I keep saying this, that the purpose for this is not to encourage lasciviousness or that, which is why I keep calling you back to our theme: purpose and excellence in uncertain times. You want to be purposeful. What's your purpose? If education is where which I believe that you are, right? I mean, who else are you going to give it to? Who else is going to have that opportunity to raise the next generation, if not you, right? So while you are an educator and you know that, okay, well, in fact, I'm going to be giving you a lot of tips within this series. Honestly, I'm going to be giving you a lot of tips on how to help grow your school, your own school, that school that you found yourself in, how you can help grow that school, and how you can become a core member of that school, that you get to the point where you even receive probably more than every other person in that school. I'm going to be showing you tips, real life tips on what you're going to do. And then secondly, I'm going to be showing you how you can create a business on the side while you maintain your passion as an educator. No one should take that away from you. All right. But today I'm going to be handing you over to amazing members and leaders of these tribes that have prepared to give you an amazing knowledge on the area of mental health and self-care. Within these uncertain times, what can you do? What are some personal things, relatable tips that you can leverage on today to make sure that you are living at a certain level, at a certain trajectory, right? Today, I want you to take the message of today, take it personal, be selfish about it, learn, write it down, implement it, because in a very short while, we're going to be asking you what you learned and how you're going to be implementing it. I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Tony, the Director of Programs at ETN Network, for you to bring up on stage the first amazing speaker for tonight.